Hi everyone, welcome back to my channel. First of all, let me tell you that I'm very proud of myself for sticking with the channel and actually continuing making videos. So, yay for me. Today I want to tell you about 5 things that I wish I knew before moving to Chile. I moved to Chile from Russia 6.5 years ago, and I will be honest with you, I had a very vague idea about what Chile is. Being so far away, it kinda was part of Latin America, but it never stood out as a separate country for me. And it was a big mistake moving to a country known only this, but okay. Before moving here, I thought Chile would be cheap compared to Europe, compared to Russia. I really thought that it would be one of the cheap Latin American countries, and oh my god, I was so wrong. Chile, if comparing it with my home country, is very expensive. Like, it's super expensive. For example, in Russia, I always thought, okay, if I have 30 or 40 million pesos, yes, Chilean pesos, I can buy a nice one-bedroom apartment somewhere like on the outsides of the city, but it's gonna be my apartment. Here in Chile, I need at least like 100-200 millions of Chilean pesos to buy this kind of apartment, and it sucks. The same goes about rent. Like, if I want to rent in Santiago and if I want to rent in Moscow, in St. Petersburg, it's going to be completely different. Like, in St. Petersburg, I was able to find an apartment for less than 300,000 Chilean pesos a month, and it had 2-bedroom apartment for just me. So, it was very big for me. And in Santiago, we were renting a 2-bedroom apartment. This was like tiny. It was smaller than the one that I had. And we paid almost double as much. So be prepared that rent in big cities is super expensive. Like, if you wanna live in a good neighborhood, in a 1-bedroom apartment, you need to gonna pay at least 1 million Chilean pesos a month for it, and not including all of the things that are called gastos comunes, like lights, the concierge that you have there, and all the other things. Eating out is also pretty expensive. I remember spending about like 2,000 rubles, which is 20,000 Chilean pesos, going out to eat as a family. And here you can't even dream about that. It's gonna be per person and even more. So going out, it's pretty expensive. If you order stuff, also expensive. Like, if you take a takeout, groceries, they are the biggest payment that we have right now. For example, in our family, the biggest payment that we have are groceries. I thought it's gonna be cheap, like, you're coming to Latin America, so you're gonna buy some fruits and veggies super cheap, and you're gonna live this wonderful healthy life. They're not cheap, guys. They're not. So living in Chile, having Chilean salaries, or, well, in my case, Russian salaries. Like, in Russia, I could live like a queen. Well, almost. With this salary that I have here in Chile, it's like lower middle class maybe. For the people who are gonna tell me that, like, why don't you move back to Russia? I mean, come on. It's war over there, and there are a lot of other negative things apart from one big plus of being cheap. So, I made my choice. What surprised me the most about all of these prices are literally fruits and veggies. I was always thinking that buying some locally grown food is going to be cheap, but it's not. And another thing that really struck me are prices for tickets. Like, if you want to go to a concert or to the circus with your kids, it's very pricey. Like, you cannot go to the circus for less than 15 or 20,000 pesos per person in a small city, in a small circus. It was mind-blowing, honestly, and yeah, it's pricey. Also, the prices to go to the zoo and other like children attractions, very expensive. Like here in Pucón, we have 3 theme parks. And I would think like, okay, I can pay you like 5,000 pesos per person because you just literally walk and look at the sculptures and nothing else. And no, they charge you like 15, 20,000 per person. Doesn't matter of age. So, very expensive. So choose nature over the paid activities for your kids. Number 2 that I wish I knew before moving to Chile. In my mind, I was thinking, oh, I'm so cool. I'm going to come to Chile and they're going to say, oh, wow, you have a Chilean husband. You have a Chilean daughter. So here's your passport. That's what I thought. In reality, it is not like that. Living here for 6.5 years, I am still waiting for my passport. I am like a legal immigrant here, right? So I do have my 5-year visa, but it took me so long to get here. I literally had to wait for over a year for my visa to be confirmed. And now I have waited for almost 2 years for my application to appear in the system. It's not even being reviewed yet. It just appeared in the system after 2 years that I applied. Can you imagine? So if somebody told me that all the legal processes, all the process of getting passport and visas are going to be so long, I would have been better prepared and maybe make different choices, but maybe not really. But yeah, knowing it, definitely worth it, because Chile is often being sold as a country that is very easy to get into visa-wise and nationality-wise, but it is not. It is very hard, and also one of the reasons why I know a lot of Russian families who actually prefer moving to Argentina, getting passport there in 2-3 years, and then moving to Chile to continue their life, if they have this kind of preference. But yeah, me being here for 6.5 years, I still have no passport, and just recently my application have appeared in the system. So be prepared. All of this document processing, all of this visa processing is super long. Number 3, when thinking about Latin America, I almost never thought about the south of Latin America, like that it can be called Chile, because I mean, come on. South for the Russian mind is warm, and here everything is the opposite, right? So the north is hot, the south is cold, which is also kind of like mind-blowing for me, as well as like winter when it's summer, summer when it's winter. When you think about it, it's one thing, but when you live in this reality, it's completely different. So, like I said, I never thought about actually the south. But now living in Chile, I realize how amazing it is that Chile is so long. You can literally go by plane a couple hours and be in a desert. And then you move to the south and it's cold and it's snow in winter and it's rainy seasons and the beautiful nature with lakes, with rivers, with some green mountains that you cannot see in the north, because there it's like another amazing thing, like desert or flowers in the desert that appear like one time in a year. And then you go on top of the mountains, you can get to the oceans. Like there are just so many different ecosystems in Chile. It's mind-blowing. And I never thought about it. I was always thinking like, oh, Chile, okay, so it should be like in Santiago, warm mountains, okay, maybe ocean access, okay, that's it. But I never could even imagine that the difference between north and south is so drastic, and you can do like so many things here just by going by car. You can literally get to another country, you can get to the ocean, you can get to the mountain peak, anything you wanna. Like imagine you could swim in the ocean in the morning and then go through the desert to the mountains to see some flamingos and guanacos near the mountain lake. How amazing is that? So yeah, if you are moving to Chile, then know that it's completely different, and you can literally select the climate you want to live in one country. Like, you want to live in a nice hot desert, go for it. You want to live in a Chile south, the one that I selected, go for it. You can select your climate and see which suits best. Number 4, earthquakes. Oh, earthquakes. Okay, it's kind of difficult to talk about earthquakes because, well, first of all, I was terrified of them. I never experienced earthquake in my life before I moved to Chile. So just the thought of it was like, oh my God, it's so scary. But then when I felt it, it was like, oh, okay, so that was an earthquake. So it wasn't like, this disastrous film or a movie that I used to watch when like everything is falling, the people are going crazy, running around. Like, no, it was just like, oh, it shook a little bit and that's it. A lot of Chileans, like, they didn't even notice it. And so on one hand, it wasn't as awful as I expected it to be. But on another hand, it was just so crazy. Like, I am standing on this, like, on the earth, and it's moving. And why is it moving? And one time I woke up, I remember in the night because of the earthquake. And I'm like, why my bed is moving? What is going on? It literally felt like I went to the ocean on the board and there are waves. That's how the earthquake felt. So earthquake, I don't know, it's completely mind-blowing. Like, I didn't feel earthquakes here in the south since I moved, but in Santiago they were pretty frequent. And yeah, by the end of my life in Santiago, I didn't even notice most of them because I was like busy with my life and it wasn't that major to notice. But at the beginning, I was like, oh my God, I was waking up because of earthquake. I was running to check on my kids and like, what is going on? And it was terrifying, but also not as bad as I thought. So yeah, like a very, very weird feeling that I have about earthquakes, but I wish I have known what it feels like before moving to Chile. And also, how people say that when there is an earthquake, you need to look at the Chilean person. If they're running, you should run. If they're chill, you should chill. Absolutely true. Like, my husband, he doesn't even wakes up because of an earthquake. He's just like, oh yeah, looking at his phone. Oh, there was an earthquake in the night. Okay. So yeah, but of course, like most of the buildings that are new are being built thought about the earthquakes, like with this thought, and they are safe. So if it's not like a major disastrous earthquake, you're going to be just fine. The other thing that I wish I knew about Chile is the social circus. I felt that Chileans are a little bit hard to get to know too, in case of like, maybe it's just my case, I don't know, but I feel like in many situations, in many cases, I'm being left out as an outsider, like as a foreigner. For example, if you have a parent group in, I don't know, in school, in ballet, in karate, whichever place, if you have like this parent group and you start talking to somebody, they are being nice to you, right? But they will never let you in because you're a foreigner, you don't belong. I felt it, maybe it's just my case, but for example, for my husband, it's super easy to go and make friends in a gym or like just going on the street. But when I talk to people, like, I don't know, in Santiago, they used to call me gringa, like the person who comes from USA, which they call every single European-looking person, especially who talks with an accent. So yeah, that thing. And here in the south of Chile, we have a lot of machismo. Like, for example, if I go out of the car to the person who charges a fee for a waterfall, for example, and this person is a man, he's gonna say, oh, like, is there somebody else with you? And if I say it's my husband, he's gonna say, let's wait. When comes my husband, he's like, oh, hello, welcome to this place. Nice to meet you, dude. And I'm standing there like, what? You just were so cold to me. Saying just like, hi, is there somebody else? And now you are just like so nice to my husband. Like, what? And yeah, it's just because he's a man. Cool, right? So yeah, maybe it's just my thing, but I found that, for example, if I want to make friends, I need to go to other foreigners and make friends with them. And it's gonna be a bit harder with Chilean people. If your experience is different, please share with me maybe some tips because I feel completely at a loss with that. And I live here like for a long time, So yeah, I wish I knew that Chilean people being nice in a conversation doesn't mean that you're gonna be seeing them again. Let's just say that. Even knowing all of this that I wish I knew before moving to Chile, I still believe that my life in Chile is a beautiful adventure so far, and I got to know so many different places, and it's just, it's beautiful here. So yes, if knowing all of this, I would still be asked if I want to move to Chile, I would definitely say yes. Because knowing all of these beautiful, amazing places that you can't even believe are real is a privilege. And you need to go to Chile, at least once in your life. Come here, see how different the nature is everywhere. And yeah, so I guess this is it. If you have any questions about life in Chile or anything in general, please leave your comment under the video and I'll see you next time. Bye.